Hi there. I read Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close in 2008, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars and even put it on my favorites shelf, which in all the reviews that I'm going to talk about thus far from 2008, we said it was 112 and growing as I read more. I've only put 6 books on my favorites shelf, so it's a pretty big deal for me. In May of 2008, I wrote this review. I really liked this book, and more so than Everything is Illuminated, which is Jonathan Safran Foer's first book. It may be because the subject matter is closer to my heart in the 9/11 attack, but Jonathan Safran Foer does an amazing job of allowing a reader to consider an alternative and fantastic perspective on tragedy. This book allowed me to re-examine feelings I have about the attack, but most importantly showed me an artful way to grieve. His work with points of view is just spectacular, as it was in Everything is Illuminated. The characters here connected with me in a way that I did not expect. A very deep and welcome read. Going back to 2008, I'm not sure how much I remember about it. There's a couple things that stick out in my memory, and that's the main character talking about sort of his sadness and his grief as heavy boots, walking around with heavy boots. And that was something that was really sort of an interesting way to think about how grief follows people around. And then there was this concept that I remember too of a bed. It was sort of like a collectible bed where there was the imagery of nails or metal things being hammered into the bed and how it just keeps getting more and more weight as it sinks into the floor like an upstairs bed. And I think all those are really sort of interesting metaphors to consider when thinking about grief. This book has been turned into a movie, and as I was getting ready to do this, I can't remember if I've actually seen the movie or not. And so I was wondering if potentially some of my feelings about it had been the same or changed by the movie. So I thought about whether I should check out the movie again before I recorded this video, but I decided to wait until after I've done this. And then, so this weekend, I'm gonna go and watch the movie. And whether it's the first time or whether it's something that I did before, I think it's gonna be an interesting way to sort of contrast what my memories are about the book and see if that same sort of sentiment comes through in the visual medium with the movie. So I'm excited to do that. If you have read this book or seen the movie and you have comments, please reach out or make comments here. I'd love to talk about the book, the movie, and anything about this topic. Again, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Jonathan Safran Foer, was a 5-star book and one of my favorites.